to the Online Ministry Made Simple podcast. My name is Mike, and I'm a pastor, and I love working with churches to help simplify the complexity of online ministry. In this episode, not only do we have the audio for this that you're listening to, you can also find this video on YouTube on Wells, channel. So be sure to subscribe and follow our channel on YouTube for more great content that will help you in your ministry. Today, we want to talk about something. It's a question that just keeps coming up, and it's so important that we have a good understanding of our live stream and where we want our live stream to be hosted. And so there's numerous places and numerous pros and cons for each service that's out there. And so I just want to go over the basics today and help you understand a little bit about the different places you can host your live stream. So let's just talk about some of the social media channels that are free that you can use to host your live stream, your service. Talk about the pros and cons of each, and then talk about some of the ways you can even multi-stream or simulcast to multiple different services at the same time, and talk about whether that's a good fit for your church or not. So let's first just talk about Facebook. Facebook is obviously one of the places that most churches first start into live streaming. Why? Because it's a low cost of entry. Facebook Live is pretty simple to start doing. You can do it as easily as just taking out your phone, starting a Facebook Live on your page, and that can get you going pretty quick. But obviously, you move beyond that pretty quickly, needing a better audio, better video quality, but you can still use Facebook Live because it's free. And so not only is it free, most people are on Facebook, so it's a good way for people outside of your church to find your service. And so if people in your church are watching on Facebook, it's really easy to invite their friends see it. It just pops up in people's feeds. So it's a good way to kind of organically reach people in your community just by being on Facebook. So that's one of the best reasons to use it. It's with comments, you can get some good interaction at times. Facebook is adding more and more features for faith communities. So whether it's host badges, whether it's different ways you can request prayer, things like that in groups and connect your Facebook live stream back to your group. There's several features that Facebook is working on. So for those reasons, it's not a bad place to stream, but there are some cons to Facebook. One of the biggest is distractions. Let's be honest, if you're on Facebook often, you are just automatically, you're seeing notifications pop up, you're seeing other videos scroll by. And so what you typically see on Facebook is people watch for a few minutes and then they scroll on by and then they may stumble back to it, and you don't really get long viewership time. So that's definitely a con. Another con is it's really a lower video and audio quality. So for the most part, since the pandemic, Facebook has pulled back the quality to 720p. There are some exceptions to that. Some services allow you to stream at a higher quality. But for the most part, that it's a drawback. It's a challenge, and so that's a con. Another con is Facebook can be brutal about copyright infractions and taking your stream down. And so, for instance, if you're playing music before your service, and just as a side note, if you're playing from Spotify or Apple Music, you really don't have permission to do that from a copyright perspective. And so that's not really something you probably should be doing anyway. But if you are and you accidentally stream part of that before your service, you can get your whole stream taken down. Not only that, a lot of places around the world are claiming copyright against churches for even hymns, for countdown videos, for things that you have permission to use. And Facebook will still take your stream down, even though you've done nothing wrong. And then another reason, if you use any type of backing tracks with your praise team, sometimes they'll take it down as well. So Facebook is just pretty quick to take down your live stream. And if that's all you're depending upon, there are going to be times when your stream is down and you don't know why, and it can take some time to contest it and get it back. So just know that that's a drawback. Facebook can really change the rules at any time. And so you have to deal with that if you're using it for free. Another thing, it's a little bit harder to watch. They do have a Facebook Watch app that you can download and put on your Apple TV, your Roku, your Fire Stick, but it's not the easiest app to use, and most people don't even know it exists. So you're probably going to have trouble getting people to adopt it and use it. So that's kind of the pros and cons of Facebook. Let's move on to YouTube. YouTube, the pros is it's easy to watch on a smart TV. And so I know from our church, most of the families that watch from home typically like using YouTube. One, it's better video and audio quality. We stream in 1080 on YouTube. So and with the YouTube app, it's really easy to just pretty much any smart TV, any streaming device has a YouTube app. People know how to use it already. And so it's a great way to get to get everything on your TV. Not only that, just the comments on YouTube. If you're watching it, obviously full screen on a TV, typically we don't see as many comments on YouTube. If you kind of got a younger church, more of a gaming oriented crowd, you may see more interaction. For us, we've not really seen that. The cons to YouTube, it's harder for people to find it by scrolling through your social media feed. So sometimes you can turn on notifications, but people do have to maybe go and hunt for it a little bit more. So YouTube, though, is just a service that everyone uses, everyone knows about. So it's a good source for that. Then you have all your paid streaming providers, and this is Vimeo, Wirecast, Boxcast, Resi, all the places church streaming, and there's tons of them out there. And so these services all do good as well. And they work best to integrate it with your website. And so if you use a paid service, you get better support. You have a much less likelihood of getting your stream taken down due to copyright infringement. And you have good video, audio quality. Did I mention the support? That's so important that you have someone to call if you have trouble. So most churches move, once they get comfortable with live streaming, move beyond Facebook and YouTube and really move to a paid service for that. And so there's plenty out there. I'll put some links in the show notes just for some recommended services out there that you can check on. There's a pretty wide variation in cost, but they're out there. Then finally, let's talk about simulcasting. And what simulcasting is where you can send your live stream to multiple places at once. And so these are services like Restream.io or Caster.io or Resi or even Vimeo can simulcast for you. And so what that means is you send it to one service, and then that service will send it out to multiple other services on your behalf. For us, we use Resi, Resi.io. Great service, a little pricey. But it works great, especially if you have kind of a slow internet connection or have internet problems. It kind of works on a 2-minute buffer. And so you have a chance that it can even be more than that, but it gives you a chance to, if you start running into video problems, or internet problems, has a chance to kind of make up and catch back up when your internet, if it goes down for 30 seconds, you're all right. It'll pick back up and you keep streaming and nobody even knows you've had any issues. So that's one reason we use Resi. But you send it to them, then they send it back to Facebook, YouTube on your behalf. And so that really is a neat way of doing it. And you can be multiple places. I did a previous podcast episode about needing an online host, and I would recommend you have someone watching the comments on all of these services. One, for inappropriate comments. And so sometimes you need to moderate comments that are going on some. And then on a positive note, sometimes people have prayer requests and have legitimate questions. And if you're watching the comments, you're able to interact with them. So that's a little bit just about your options. I will mention a lot of people, if you may be wondering, why didn't I mention the church online platform? A lot of people say, I want to stream to the church online platform. Well, the issue is it's not a host. It's not your streaming provider. It's a container for it. It's a platform that allows you to embed the video from any of these services we've talked about into your website. And so you really don't stream to the church online platform, but you use it to host your platform. And it gives you a platform or to host your video. Then it gives you a platform for prayer requests, for moments, for interacting with the people who are watching. So maybe that'll help you understand a little bit more about how the church online platform works. I will mention there's plenty more services. There's services like Twitch that's very popular for gaming that some churches are using now, and it's easy to embed in your website. And so overall, I would just say the social media platforms are a great way to reach people and connect with people who may not be attending your church. But we like pushing people to our website using the church online platform because we get longer watch times, we get better interaction, we get better analytics and tracking who's there. And it's just a better experience for the people who are already connected to our church. So I would view Facebook as our front door, YouTube as the opportunity to watch it on your smart TV with your family, and then the church online platform for people who are watching on their tablet or mobile device. And are connected with our church. So hope this helps. We'll continue talking about live streaming, about moving your church online and different ways to do hybrid ministry. And we really just want you to be able to understand because there's so many complexities here. And so thanks for tuning in. And I look forward to sharing more content in the future. Be sure to check out our website at onlineministrymadesimple.com for online courses, for blog content, for podcast episodes. And if you have any questions, be sure and let me know. Thanks for joining in today.